Hey, photographers! It's Kelli here with another episode pulled straight from Inside the Hive membership. Today, we're getting real about money mindset, manifestation, and how the energy around us affects our ability to attract abundance. I'm sharing some personal stories about my own money journey, including how I manifested my house in Aruba way faster than I expected. Whether you've got limiting beliefs from past lives like me, or you're just tired of hearing broke talk from everyone around you, this episode is going to help shift your perspective. Let's dive in. All right. So, the other thing is if we're constantly hearing from people, I'm so broke, I can't pay my bills, I don't make enough money, I can't afford this, right? I can't do this, I don't have this, I need this, that is going to start to affect our money mindset and our vibration as well. And that's not to say that we're living in La Land, right? I would love to have a mansion waterfront on a Caribbean island, right? I would love that. I would love that. And maybe someday that will be my reality. Right now, I don't have $20 million to buy a beachfront property in the Caribbean. Believe in manifestation. I do believe in money mindset. I do believe in energy and things like that. But I also have a solid understanding of being where you are and understanding that this is a process and we're not getting from point A to point B. I can manifest the shit out of every situation. But my situation right now is I do not have $20 million. I'm not going to probably manifest $20 million. I don't have an avenue for which, $20 million, I'm going to receive that in the next 24 hours to buy a beachfront mansion in the Caribbean. But it's something that I can work towards. And one thing that I've found is that I'm a powerful woman. If I put something on my dream board, I have the capacity to make things happen. And I typically can have them happen much faster than I anticipate. In 2019, I put on my dream board that I wanted to buy a house in the Caribbean within 5 years. And literally 18 months later, I was putting in an offer on a house. So that's obviously a lot faster than 5 years. But I was giving the universe a message and I was working towards that and I was manifesting that. Very much the same thing with money. You are what you eat, right? And so if you're listening to people say, I'm broke, I'm poor, I can't afford this, I don't have this, I don't have that, especially like that, we can get that a lot from clients and that can be very heavy and very draining as well. But we need to put those boundaries in place and say, hey, I'm just not the person for those conversations. And also, be countering that with feeding our brain the correct messages, right? And saying the correct things. I have fallen into this trap many times over the years, and I'll continue to fall into this trap, right? Because this is a journey. This is about growth. This is about learning. I'm not going to sit here and tell you guys that my money mindset is always amazing and it's always going to be amazing, right? It's a process, it's a journey. Changing that narrative. And what are you feeding your brain? I love books about money, right? I love books about money. Denise Duffield Thomas, like Get Rich Lucky Bitch, Amanda Francis, Rich is Rachel Rogers, We Shall Be Millionaires, like all those things and more. Like I love those books. Most of those people also have amazing podcasts, right? Do you have 20 minutes while you're in the shower, brushing your teeth, getting dressed in the morning to start your day off with money mindset message? Like plop on Denise's podcast, plop on Amanda Francis's podcast and see how you're feeling energetically and see how your money mindset is after you get off that episode. Are you feeling lighter? Are you feeling motivated? Do you feel like anything is possible, right? Because that's a big difference than getting those phone calls from our mom or from our friend that, oh, I don't have the money for this or this bill can't. Big difference in the way that we're feeling in our bodies and in our minds, especially concerning money. So you are what you consume. Now, the second point I wanted to make is the internal narrative, right? And this gets a little heavy because when I was starting my business, right, my financial situation was a lot different than it is today. And so I remember I've been like this my whole life. I've always had this deep seated fear of running out of money. I, to this day, have nightmares, actual nightmares about overdrawing my account or going to a store to buy something and credit cards decline. This actually happens to me a lot. I have a Chase credit card and it's ruining my money mindset. My credit card is ruining my money mindset because this card is always declining and it's not good for my money mindset. So I need to get a new credit card. The money's always there, but that act of it declining and someone be like, hey, your card's declined. Oh my God. Oh, and it's not even, I'm not embarrassed. I don't care. Like, I know the money's there, but it's just that feeling of, or you go to swipe it and you're like, God, I hope it goes through. So I'm literally changing credit card companies because this particular credit card is not good for my money mindset because the thing never works. And it should be easy to spend money. It should be easy to receive money. Like all of this should be easy. And if something feels difficult, then that means there's a block, right? It's like a beaver dam, right? Like it should flow like a river. If it's not flowing like a river, that means there's a block somewhere. I've always had my whole life this deep-seated fear of running out of money, not having enough money. I even had past life readings done several years ago, like COVID or even pre-COVID. This wonderful woman, Lois Wetzel, she has like books that she's written. I was able to sneak in with her right before she retired. She's super, super old, but she did past life readings with me. And I had this one very like crazy past life where I was the provider for my family, but I could just never figure it out. And we ran out of money basically, and my whole family died, more or less. I'd have to go back and listen to the recording to give you the whole story. But basically, I was in charge. I needed to provide. I wasn't able to do that. And that has carried with me. And I really believe that that's where a lot of my feelings come from, because even though I grew up very poor, like my parents had no money, like my dad used to shoplift at the grocery store, no money. Even though I grew up very poor, like my parents always made sure that my sister and I never went without, right? You need a new backpack for school every year. You need new clothes for school every year. We ate 3 meals a day. My parents made sure we always had a roof over our head. We got to participate in sports, that sort of stuff. We never went without. So even though I grew up really poor, my parents made sure that it didn't feel that way, right? We might not have lived in the best place. It might not have been the nicest house. We might not have had the nicest things. We might not have had our own bedrooms, my sister and I, but we never went without, right? And we lived a very nice, happy childhood. So I really believe that my money memories come from past lives. And so having that reading done was just very enlightening to me and just validating that these feelings were coming from somewhere and it wasn't just something normal that everybody has. Because I have plenty of friends that live paycheck to paycheck and they don't feel the stress that I feel, right? When it comes to money. So even when I was in high school, I had like multiple jobs and I always had to have at least $5,000 in the bank. Like what high school student do you know has $5,000 in the bank? And if it went below that, I'd have a panic attack. I'd freak out. It just doesn't make sense. But having that knowledge now, it allows me to be like, okay, these thoughts, these feelings, like they're mine, but also like, where do they come from? Why am I having them? And are they rational? Because sometimes our brain tells us a story. Sometimes our brain gives us information that's not always rational. All right, that's all I've got for you today on money mindset. What you just heard is the kind of no BS conversation we have every single day inside the Hive. If you are ready to level up your money mindset and join a community of photographers who are focused on growth and abundance, the Hive membership is open for enrollment right now. You'll get access to monthly money-making challenges, group coaching calls, and a drama-free place where we celebrate wins and support each other's growth. The link to join is in the show notes, and don't wait because enrollment closes soon. As I always say, if there's one thing I know about myself, I know how to make money. You've got this power too. See you inside the Hive.